Hello and welcome to program News at 7, where every story shapes a world. I'm your host Mahnoor Qureshi. Let's take a look on the top stories we'll be discussing tonight. And first of all, we'll take a closer look at DG ISPR detailed briefing about the Pakistan security landscape and the intelligence-based operations that have been carried out since November 4, 2025. And then we'll talk about a very disturbing video from occupied West Bank, where we have seen that two men were attempting to surrender but shot dead by Israel military forces. And linking to that in our program, we'll talk about the 16 days of activism, where the world observes 16 days of activism, and theme of this year to end violence against women and the gender-based violence. And we'll talk about Pakistan's commitments and the steps taken by Pakistan to align with the international commitment. And we'll start with the DGISPR's detailed briefing about the current security landscape of Pakistan. And we have seen that there was a briefing regarding the security landscape of Pakistan and the intelligence-based operations that were carried out since November 4, 2025. And total since November 4, 2025, 4,910 operations that have been carried by Pakistan while neutralizing 206 terrorists. Overall, in 2025, more than 67,000 operations were conducted nationwide, with 12,857 in KP and 53,309 in Balochistan, resulting in 1,873 terrorists being neutralized, including 136 Afghans. The DGISPR also highlighted the serious concerns regarding the border management, the political terror, nexus crime, and Afghanistan failure to curb terrorist activities despite their commitment under the Doha Agreement. To talk about that, we are joined by Brigadier Brig, who's the defense analyst, and with that we will be having Arshad Yousafzi, who's the Afghan affairs expert. Welcome to the show, both of you. We'll start with Arshad Yousafzi. Can you please give us a brief about these intelligence-based operations and the significance of these operations considering the current counterterrorism posture of Pakistan?
Well, thank you for having me on your show. First of all, these intelligence-based operations are a key to Pakistan's efforts to eliminate terrorism from the country, particularly from the tribal areas. So these are important. And the number that you have given, it tells the story that Pakistani forces have been trying the best they can do by eliminating more than 1,800 terrorists in the past year or so. And in the past month, there have been at least 205 terrorists have been eliminated. So it shows that though the presence of terrorists is there across the border areas, but Pakistani military is doing what it should do, and it has not stopped short of doing these attacks or intelligence-based operations against terrorists who have been infiltrating into Pakistan from Afghanistan without any hindrance. The infiltration continues, although there are many still based in the tribal belt who had come years ago. But the fight that we are fighting is not going to end soon, because the number of terrorists that have been eliminated still is too low, and there are still many more to be eliminated.
All right. So, Brigadier Harris, you are a defense analyst. What do you think that, what do these intelligence-based operations indicate, especially when we talk about the security threats in KP and Balochistan, considering the important projects we are having there with the, different stakeholders across the globe?
Operations coming from Afghanistan is creating a really escalated threat to Pakistan. And Field Marshal Yasamini have told many times that we are determined to eliminate terrorism from Pakistan. And of course, for that, we are going to give any sacrifices, any shahadat, whatever you want. But the only problem is the whole nation should be together, and particularly KPK government, because we are finding difficulty in making this KPK government and also the people of KPK to understand the gravity of problem. That is very serious. And also, he has also showed what are the complications. This year, only I think this year got killed 1,893 terrorists, and out of that 136 were Afghans. So that means the Afghan Taliban regime is supporting this terrorist organization. We those are the Kharjis or Daesh or any other terrorist organization. And Pakistan has demanded only one thing, that please ensure your land is not utilized for cross-border terrorism, which you are committed in Doha Agreement also with Americans. And later when we sat with you, and then you were saying, yes, we will not do it again, you are doing it. And now Pakistan is very strict because we have said very clearly and openly that now we want the confirmation, verification also that you are really taking some criminal activities against these terrorist the commanders of this terrorist organization, because only then we like to talk to them. We have talked to them many times, lot of change of delegation, and then we have been talking to through a mediator, and now they are gone and they are talking to Indians. So we are very clear what is their design. So we have said now we will not talk to you unless you confirm that you have started taking action. And for that reason, actually, we wanted to punish them, and the reason is we have gone for this logistics choke points. Then, of course, Afghan transit, we have stopped it. We are not against Afghan people. We feel extremely sorry. They've already suffered a lot of miseries during Afghan war, Russian war, then when Americans were there. And again, so we never wanted. But the problem is, Afghan this regime is illegitimate. They don't have a political inclusive government. They don't have ethnic balanced government. They don't have Hazara, Uzbeks, Tajiks. 40% are controlling, and particularly I would say the bunch of 12, 15 people are totally controlling Afghanistan and minting money through the Americans and Indians and Chinese taking this extracting mine the minerals. So that is the basic problem. And then they're creating a lot of rumors. Why Pakistan not stopping this cross-border terrorism? Why can't we stop it? And why the skills are coming? The reason DGSP has told very clearly the problem is that we have laid around 1,200 kilometers of border fencing all along the border, KPK border. It the mountainous terrain, rugged mountains, it's very difficult, tortuous terrain. That is why it is very difficult. Then we have 20 to 25 kilometers distance each post. So you can see how difficult it is to monitor. And if we have 2 to 3 kilometers at a distance, we have these posts, then we have to have drones monitoring the area, then it's very cost expensive. We will not be able to do it. So these are the problems. And then of course, KP government is not taking that. 4 lakh vehicles are flying in KPK, which is non-duty paid. That is also these terrorist organization, they're using those vehicles. So that has to be stopped. Illegal spectrum. And that we see the Hundi money is coming, narcotics, then smuggling, tire smuggling, vehicle smuggling, cigarette smuggling. That money is also being sent towards financial terrorism. These are the impediments which creates a lot of problems. Pakistan is doing their best, but the only thing is KPK government has to understand that we need their support. They have to, because they are political peoples, traders, they are involved in illegal spectrum business. So that has to be curbed very clearly. But I
As you have
think
rightly
Pakistan
mentioned
has
that
told
Pakistan,
this.
Brigadier Harris, you have rightly mentioned that Pakistan is doing their best, but I believe that we need to understand the severity of situation where Afghan Taliban regime is not ready to accept they are backed by the other parties for using their soil against the neighboring countries, especially in Pakistan. Well, talking about that, moving towards you, Arshad Yousafzi, we have talked about that, the current situation, the counter-terrorism posture of Pakistan, and the current, security situation in KP and Balochistan, because we are having a very important project, CPEC is there, and obviously India is trying to contain China through Afghan soil, and we have seen the evidence, we have given the evidence to Afghan Taliban regime, but they are not ready to accept. What do you think, considering the current situation, Pakistan has neutralized 1,873 terrorists, and among them 136 are Afghan. So what do you think about it?
Well, first, we have to differentiate between the Afghans and the TTP. The Afghans who have been fighting in the ranks of TTP, including those who were killed recently in Bajor, their commanders, these people are Afghans by birth, they are Afghan nationals, but do they have any relations or any affiliation with the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan? I doubt so. Because for my information, I have recently confirmed through my sources in Afghanistan that one prominent sheikh, scholar in Ghazni, Sheikh Abdul Sami Ghaznavi, he has been imprisoned by the Afghan Taliban because he spoke in support of TTP. So that's what the Afghan Taliban do when they want to do against TTP or those who support TTP against Pakistan. Uh, Many people would say that I'm pro-Afghan Taliban, but the case here is Afghan Taliban do not, in that sense, support TTP, that they send their people. No, it's not the case. Afghans, however, they have been part of TTP for many years and they're still there. They are in Bajor, they're in Mumand, in Waziristan, and also in Orakzai, and to some extent in Tira and Kuram. But these are Afghan nationals who either support TTP for money, for weapons, or for their hatred against Pakistan. No, the question is Afghan Taliban doing enough? I don't think they're doing enough because they can do a lot more. Why are they not doing this is a different question. And then the ball comes into our court, to Pakistani court, because Afghans believe, rightly or wrongly, that they also are getting hurt by people who we support. They don't have any evidences, but they claim and they blame Pakistan for supporting ISK, which I doubt. It is not true, I believe. But if that is the case, then we do not have to give space to our enemy, the enemy who we defeated in May, who we humiliated in May, because India is now finding space in Afghanistan to give us a tough time. Indians have found space because we have been not on talking terms with Afghanistan. Things were going smooth when Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar went to Afghanistan. In fact, I was told by many Afghan leaders that the way he conducted his meetings proved like Pakistan was really on track to win our hearts. But what happened after that, what happened when Sadiq Khan, our special rep, paved the way for nice negotiations, for things to go smoothly, all of a sudden, Pakistan and Afghanistan have locked horns. This has to be sorted by negotiations, by talks. We can counter each other. Afghanistan is in no position to fight Pakistan. They don't have the weaponry, they don't have the experience, they don't have the fighter jets or to counter our fighter jets or our forces or our missiles. But the problem is, can we finish an enemy like that? I don't think so. So we must come to talking tables, and the best thing would be Pakistan to raise their concerns with proofs, which we have got many of them. These proofs should be taken to Kabul. We should sit with the counterparts. We should tell them that this is happening again and again, not just once, not just through our intermediaries, but this has to be done directly and through back channels too.
We
Yeah.
have seen that we are, going back to talking tables
Comment
again
on
and
that.
again. We are going there again and again, giving them, offering them concessions as well, trade concessions as well. On the other hand, we are having a firm stance that trade and travel cannot be linked with the, such kind of terrorism activities against Pakistan. We are going to talking tables again and again, and that is our narrative. But the other party is not ready to sign an agreement. They are, again and again violating that. Then what needs to be done in this scenario? We have the
Well,
mediators, even they are
Mahnoor,
frustrated, and the other party is not ready to accept that what needs to be done. And they are, facing the repercussions out of it as well.
I get your point. Mahnoor, I have been working with the Afghan Taliban in negotiations for the past 17 years. Since 2008, I have been engaging them with different countries, with different states, and we have talked on many issues. On one way, in the morning, we would be talking about health and security and civilian casualties. And in the afternoon, we would be hearing reports in the same meeting rooms that the Taliban have attacked a particular office or organization of the same country that we were talking to. These things continued for 17 years. Before they came to talking tables with the Americans, they were fighting each other. Even in 2014, when there was this negotiation going on between Afghanistan and Afghan Taliban and the Americans on the exchange of Bobby Bragdell, the five Gitmo Afghan Taliban who are now in power, the talking was continued, so was the fighting. So Pakistan can continue killing, eliminating as many terrorists as we can, and still we can offer a hand of peace. We can negotiate. That's how
Mahnoor, I
peace
want to
talks
speak
are.
on this.
And I believe that was our defense mechanism. That was not our, something offensive. That was defensive because we have to secure our people. And it was intelligence-based operation where we were giving evidence to the Afghan Taliban regime as well. It was not about Pakistan only, or we were not taking all the evidence to ourselves, but we were ready to give it to them, but they were not ready to accept. That was the problem we have seen. That Arshad, Yousafzi, thank you so much for joining us. Moving towards you, Brigadier Harris. You have mentioned, few challenges in Pak-Afghan border. Can you please elaborate about that and the challenges faced by the security forces there?
You see, the use of the point was I a bit beg to differ because the point is Pakistan had sent many times delegations. Our defense minister went, foreign minister went. Even Chinese had a conference of Chinese foreign minister, Pakistan foreign minister, and Afghanistan foreign minister. We make them understand what are the realities, what are the difficulties. And then, of course, we wanted to extend our CPEC also to up to Kabul for rail communication. We did everything. The point is, recently, when they attacked our post, we captured the 22 posts. Was there any reason to go for this? When Mataki was there, in the foreign minister was there in India, why should have they attacked Pakistan post? And then we went for Patkia, we went to Gulbadir area, and we killed over 60, 70 their people, Khwarjis. And even then they raised a white flag, then they wanted to have a ceasefire, they want to have negotiations. The mediator was there. There also we told them only one thing, that please ensure your land is not utilized by any terrorist organization. Nothing else. Only one point agenda. And we took what all we have been doing now. We have been doing for diplomatic effort for them. We've been giving all logistics support, sugar, wheat, fertilizer, Afghan transit. Their patients are coming to Pakistan. Their students are studying here. We had never created any problem. And all business going, we were suffering 3 trillion rupees lost every year because of this trade business they carried out. Still will accept it because we wanted, there should be no problems of one people. But the issue is they should understand the reality. If you're killing our people, DGS said blood and terror and trade can't go together. It's very simple. You're killing every day our soldiers, and then you're saying, and they say they are the refugees, they've come to Afghanistan, they are our guests, and we can't send them back. You see, it's very funny. People, they have gone there, they're using their arms and ammunition, they're using the rocket launcher, they bring their rifle, and then they're coming to Pakistan doing terrorism and killing our troops and civilian. Can't you stop it? We have got all refugees, we are sending them, they're all going without arms, nothing, they're doing peacefully. So this is the important thing. They don't realize, and they're not falling to Indians' bait. What India is doing them and doing agreeing, and they don't realize that they are going to ditch them one day, and they're going to suffer a lot. Their business is total stop. They can't have business in India through air flights. You see, we've stopped Indian air flights through our airspace. So if they go 5-6 hours detour space, it's going to be very, very expensive. The problem is they should learn to live like good people. They are thankless to Afghan Taliban. They are illegitimate government. They came interim. Interim means you have to go for election, you have to go for democratic process, and the people of Afghanistan have to select their own choice of people, government. But they are not doing it. So that means that they are not pushed for the people of Afghan. They are just enjoying perks and privileges, which the bunch of 15-20 people, they are having fun. That's the problem Pakistan is facing. And now ultimately you have said no negotiation with you. Till the time you start taking visible action against these Khwarjis, only then we are going to talk to them. Or of course, other negotiation, if Iran wants mediation, China wants, Russia wants, most welcome. But then we will keep going for kinetic operation because that is we can't stop it. It's enough is enough. And I think we've done a lot for the Afghan people and Afghan Taliban regime, but I think they understand now only one language, and that is if you're very tough.
And that's very important to understand. And the very important point is we are talking about the ceasefire and the concessions and the offers being sent by Pakistan to Afghan Taliban regime. But the issue is, and the root cause behind it is that they are not the civic government, they are not the democratic government, and they are not the true representative of Afghan people. And that's why the people, due to this Taliban regime, is suffering in Afghanistan. We have seen the ranking of Afghanistan in Global Hunger Index. We have seen the ranking of Afghanistan in Global Gender Index. And Tonight we'll discuss about the 16 days of activism as well, and then we'll link it to that as well, that what is happening. And while talking about Pakistan, Afghanistan crisis, where there are a lot of mediators, they are trying hard to mediate, they need to, bind Afghanistan for the civic government as well, for the true representation of Afghan people. Now, moving forward towards another very important and I must say a very disturbing video from occupied West Bank, which has intensified global outrage, and the footage shown that Palestinian men attempting to surrender while their hands raised and their shirts lifted, but they were unarmed, and before that they were shot dead by Israel military forces. I hope you can see it on the screen as well, where they were shot dead by the Israel military forces. Let's have a look on the video. The incident has drawn a strong contempt from the United Nations, and which called it a serious violation of international humanitarian law and demanded an independent, transparent investigation. Adding to the concern, the UN Committee Against Torture has stated that there is an evidence that Israel is operating a de facto state policy of organized and widespread torture. And tonight we'll analyze what this video reveals and how UN is responding to it, and what this means for the regional and international diplomacy. To talk about that, we are joined by Haitham, Middle East expert, but I'll start with Brigadier Haris. Brigadier Haris, I hope you have seen the video. So what do you think about this video where two men were attempting to surrender, but they were shot dead by Israel military?
I think it is very barbaric, it is very inhuman, it's just like a, honestly, I feel it's a brutal action. Nobody can do it. I think it's only Israelis can do it, who are not the animals. They are the animals, I would say. I think it is heartbreaking the way we have seen it, what is happening, and how unarmed, innocent Palestinians are being killed, despite the fact they surrendered themselves. And there is no excuse. I think for this, I would say the 8 countries which had ensured drafted this resolution for 20 points resolution, they should stand up and they should talk, protest about it. And those 2, 3, 4 soldiers who are involved in it, they must be punished properly. And that punishment should be known to the Palestinians, families, and also the Arab world and Islamic world, so that at least something is consolation for them. It's very unfair. And President Trump, I think he should speak it out, because he said, I'm the president of this whole process, and of the peace board which they made, he has become the president of that also. So this is creating the problem. You kill innocent people. I think immediately the stabilizing force which has to be nominated must go. Balance authority must be established, and then to start working, and then demilitarization of the Gaza Strip and West Bank should start. That's very important. It is unacceptable. I think this is Middle Eastern countries must stand up. They must take official matter with not only with United Nations, I would say, human rights organization. They must be Amnesty International, as we were told, and particularly President Trump must be asked to force Netanyahu to at least go for court-martial of these individuals. But these incidents keep happening. This is not the first incident, and it's not the last incident. Again, they will happen. So we have to raise at least voices.
That's truly brutal, and that's truly intense as well. Coming towards you, Haitham. Haitham, you're a Middle East expert. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you think about the video shows about the men attempting to surrender, and then they were shot dead by Israel military forces?
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me. First of all, this is not the first time we see a brutal killing of innocent civilians in the West Bank, but we can see that the Israeli army have intensified their operation in West Bank after the ceasefire was signed in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt on 10th of October. The goal of the Israeli government and the forces, either sometimes it's by IDF or by also the Interior Ministry forces, is a clear policy by Itmar Ben Gvir, the Interior Minister, and Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, to scare the Palestinians who are in the West Bank and make them feel that they are the next target. After what happened in Gaza for 2 years, there has been many decisions by this government, by the cabinet, and also some resolutions and bills presented to the Israeli Knesset to declare the West Bank as part of Israel and cancel the recognition of Oslo Accords. and cancel the coordination with the Palestinian Authority in West Bank, which are steps were announced also during the first 2 weeks after the 7th of October 2023, because this government of Israel is trying to maximize the gain after 7th of October, which they consider their copy or their edition of 9/11. They compare themselves to what the United States have done, launching wars against Afghanistan, against Iraq after 9/11. They compare themselves to USA. From day one, Mr. Netanyahu have said exactly those sentences, that this is 9/11 for us and nobody should blame us for what we will do next. This is the mentality that leads Israel so far, which is why they use such a way of killing Palestinians, not only to scare Palestinians in West Bank and force them to leave, whoever has the ability to leave to other countries, but also to show the regional countries and the world that they are continuing in their policies, despite the fact they signed an agreement related to Gaza, but they are continuing their policies. We have seen they attacked Syria yesterday also. They are attacked Lebanon during the week, and they are doing such things inside the West Bank. So the Israeli government is not stopping at any point as long as the Americans are not focusing on those areas and still celebrating what they think that they have achieved some kind of peace by the Trump deal. The Trump deal did not achieve peace so far. It achieved one step, which was the theoretical ceasefire, which Israel has violated more than 14 times so far in less than 2 months.
All right,
So,
fine.
what we are seeing is continuous of this government policies, and I don't think they will stop unless there is a stand from the Muslim bloc and regional powers that can influence US to influence Israel.
But Haitham, this time UN condemned this act and stated that Israel is, they are having that evidence that Israel is operating under the de facto state policy of white state, terrorism and torture. So what do you think, that what does the UN condemnation influence the global response to this incident?
The global response, as long as it's only statements and descriptions, either from UN or Amnesty or any other organization that does not have the power, will be only statements. The power in this region is still in the hands of the Americans, and we have seen a projection of that during the signing of the agreement. For 2 years, the entire world was calling for ceasefire. Nobody stopped the war until American president came to the region and forced Netanyahu to sign a deal, which was not fair to the Palestinians, but the Palestinians were cornered and they were given the options of take it or leave it.
All
Either
right.
you accept this kind of deal, or we will continue the war. We will let Netanyahu to continue the war. So whatever statements that are being given about whatever incidents, this is not the first incident. That will not be the last incident. We'll see a lot of killing of the Palestinians in the coming weeks. But if that is not used as a tool for يعني talking to the Americans, negotiating with the Americans by the Islamic bloc, things will continue the same status, or maybe they will intensify more and more of these incidents.
Brigadier Harris, coming towards you, talking about this video, could you really think that shooting, we have seen this in video, is classified as a war against international humanitarian law, while, we have considered that the atrocities, we have seen the atrocities by Israel military forces in Palestine, especially in Gaza, and now we have seen the video where, two people were trying to surrender and they are still shot dead by the Israel military forces. So would it be considered as a violation of humanitarian law in the international law?
Maruk, listen, what this Israel has done in Gaza, in the part of the whole Arab world and the American and European would become the human rights champions, the way they killed over 80,000 innocent peoples, and then they destroyed the infrastructure. They had a food embargo. They would not allow them. They were dying of hunger. And where were these champions? No one. Everybody is with them. And as long as the Americans are supporting them, they are not pushed toward anybody else. It's very, very clear. And these, they have killed two people, they have killed over 100, and still around, I would say, 20,000, 25,000 are under the debris, which they are now taking out the, clearing those areas. It's very clear. The point is, Arab world is showing a lot of weakness. If that day when Israel attacked Doha, Qatar, that was the time they should have shown some strength, and that is all the Israel now encouraged. In Israel, it can do now anything, because that was the time. If they were all together, they should have gone a very strong resolution that today onward we are giving 7 to 8 days. If there is no ceasefire, if Israel doesn't stop bombing those innocent people and doesn't lift the embargo, we are going to ban all Israel flights passing over the Arab commercial flights. Number two, we are going to boycott all trades with them coming to our Arab countries. Number three, we are going to suspend a brand code till the time this condition is Gaza improved. Israel would have been on the knees. Nobody, it's just a normal resolution, nothing else. This showed our weakness and weakness of the Arab world. I think Pakistan is the only country who spoke loud and clear in favor of Gaza, in favor of Qatar, and in favor of even Iran when Iran was being attacked by Israel. So that is how we need to have a policy. Once you are not together, when you are not together, that means everybody is going to sort you out. Become strong. 57 countries, Islamic countries, have shown a lot of weakness, and that is being exploited by Israel on behalf of Americans. It's very clear.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Brigadier Harris, for joining us. Moving towards you, Haitham. What do you think? What might this incident mean for rising tensions between Israel and Palestinian conflict, talking in the wider term, where we have seen the violations of the ceasefire and, Palestinian authorities and the world is raising their concern about these violations. But, we have seen that Israel military is not ready to accept or not ready to stop this violence.
Most probably, these incidents will continue till the last day of this government, because this government is waiting for election. Election will be in October 2026 if there is any. If there is no calling for early election. Until then, this government get popularity in the Israeli voters by doing more against the Palestinians. If you see the surveys or the public opinion statistics in Israel, the more Netanyahu and Ben Gvir attack Palestinians, kill more Palestinians, they get more support from the voters. This is not a state of civilians and maybe extreme army who's doing something in a war. This is a state of 70 to 80% of extremist citizens. How can we measure that? By their support of killing innocent Palestinians every day in West Bank and in Gaza. The support did not decrease after killing 80,000 people in Gaza, and more than 2 million are suffering from hunger and other issues because of the war. So I don't think this will stop until the last month before the end of this government. There might be truce of the campaign, election campaigns, for a few months until the next election, which will be during this campaign. They will use what they have done to the Palestinians as part of their political campaigns for the next government. What's slowing down this government of calling for a new election is that Netanyahu did not get the deal which Trump tries to get it for him during his speech in the Knesset to يعني stop investigating the crimes of corruption and other crimes that have Netanyahu have done before the war. This is the only reason they are not calling for election. The support is in the maximum inside Israel to Netanyahu, despite some people demonstrating in the streets, but they do not represent the entire Israelis. This state is extremist by its citizens, not only by its leaders, which means we will see more and more brutal killing of Palestinians if the Islamic bloc do not stop this by some kind of negotiation with America.
That's very important. And thank you so much, Haitham, for joining us tonight. Haitham joined us, and Haitham is a Middle East expert, and we were talking about the atrocities faced by the Palestinian people while the world observes 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. The United Nations latest report highlights global concerns over the violence, discrimination, and lack of protection for women and girls. While many regions show rising vulnerabilities, Pakistan continues to work on strengthening its legal framework, support system, and the awareness campaigns amid the prevention and survivors protection, which we have seen in the recent years as well. And this year's activism period also holds a special relevance for Pakistan, as progress on human rights and gender equality remain a key factor in maintaining its GSP plus trade status with European Union. Pakistan has taken different steps to align with international commitment for enhancing its prevention law, to expand the helplines, the shelter, the community awareness programs, reflecting its effort to meet the global standards, and we have seen the evidence of it in the recent past. To talk about that, we are joined by human rights activist Mr. Kausar Abbas. Mr. Kausar Abbas, welcome to the show. I'll start with the Pakistan's participation in 16 days of activism demonstrate that it is committing to addressing the gender-based violence. How do you see that? Mr. Kausar, please unmute your mic. We can't hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're audible now, please.
Thank you very much, Mahnoor. And I think this is a very important topic on which you are discussing, since the globally it's being observed as a 16 days of activism. And I think Pakistan has done a very extensive work to address the issue of, we talk about the issues of reporting of cases of the gender-based violence. It's being improved now because if you see a few years ago, Pakistan was not properly reporting these cases. And currently, if we see especially if I would like to take to quote the example of Punjab province, the Punjab province has taken very good steps to ensure the reporting of gender-based violence, and as well as the violence of children, violence against transgender community and all the vulnerable communities. Especially, they have established the safe city mechanism, the women safety apps, virtual women police stations. Similarly, they have also introduced different technology-based solutions to address the issues of violence against women in the local communities. The government has taken very serious steps to address these issues. The other provinces, they have also taken some steps, but still there is a need to do a lot of efforts to address these issues, because this issue is not a social taboo. Because as of now, we are basically creating, or we are taking this issue as a social taboo, or we talk like that this is this issue is more promoting in Pakistan, because of the social and cultural stereotypes. I think this is a national cause, and this is a national issue which needs to address on the emergency basis. And as you mentioned about the recent report of the United Nations, they have also highlighted some of the recommendations in that, and this is also the requirement under the GSP plus as well. So there is a need to do more efforts. There is a need to do a whole of the society and whole of the government approach. Yes, the government has taken some initiatives to address this issue, but only government cannot stop this issue. Only police cannot stop this issue. We actually need to develop a whole of the society mechanism and approach to address this issue by engaging every citizen, because this is a mindset. This is a mindset as well, that whenever there is any kind of violence against women case we see in the community, it's basically why it happens. This is the mindset of the men, which thinks that women are more vulnerable, and whatever we can do against the women, that would not be reported and that would not be highlighted, because of the social stereotypes, and there are like so many barriers in these issues. So if we talk about the recent cases, registered cases about these issues, we have recently collected the data by using right to information law from across Pakistan, and around 20,000 cases are being reported in Pakistan, and only 15,000 cases are reported alone in Punjab. This doesn't mean that Punjab is the hotspot this day, the province. It means that Punjab has the better mechanism, or Punjab people are more aware, or they are like they have a trust on the state institution, that they are trying to highlight these cases and reporting these cases. So, however, if we see Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, if we see the Balochistan province, we still need to do a lot of effort to introduce the mechanisms to create the awareness about among the local communities as well. Sorry, I think you are
Exactly,
asking the
and
question.
yeah, and there are a lot of remarkable steps that have been taken for the gender-based policies. There are a lot of steps, and I believe that when more people are reporting, it means the more people are trusting the state institutions, and I've seen the remarkable increase in it. And there are a lot of tech-based solutions regarding it, and there are a lot of apps right now to report such issues. The mechanism is very good, and it is enhancing these days. We have seen that even the international researchers, the analysts and reporters are admiring such issues. But when talking about the Pakistan progress, how Pakistan aligned with the recommendations of the latest UN report of protection and human rights, because we have seen that Pakistan is actively working on that, while on neighboring countries, what's happening there, we have seen that what is happening in India, what is happening in Afghanistan, how they're treating the people there. Obviously, in Afghanistan, there is an excuse that they are not the civic government, they are not the democratic government, but how Pakistan can, align their steps with the international commitments?
Well, I think Pakistan is like progressing towards these issues, and being us, because I don't belong to any party or any government institution, so I always try to give a neutral opinion. And as an observer, I think Pakistan is taking very serious steps on addressing these issues, and Pakistan is doing very progressive work to address these issues. If we take the example of India, if we take the example of Afghanistan and many other countries, there are a lot of human rights violations which are going on. Pakistan is also facing such kind of issues within the communities. But I think Pakistan has established the mechanism now. Now those mechanism needs to be properly implemented at the grassroots level. Pakistan has established the National Commission for Human Rights. Pakistan has established the National Commission on the rights of women, which is a very good initiative to protect the rights of the women in Pakistan. Pakistan has introduced the National Commission on the rights of children, which is again a very good step to protect the rights of the children and the violence against the children as well. Pakistan has also introduced the parliamentary caucuses in every province, and as well as at the national level, on the women, on the child, on gender-based violence, on different issues. This shows that Pakistan is progressing towards these issues. Similarly, if we talk about the trafficking or exploitation of the women, because this is one of the major issue which not only Pakistan but globally, this is the most growing crime which is happening across the globe. And Pakistan has taken very good steps to promulgate the legislation on the Prevention of Trafficking in Persons Act, and the Prevention of Smuggling of Migrants Act. And similarly, Pakistan has also established a national action plan to address these issues. And there are the committees which are being established to the parliamentary committees, the administrative committees, to oversee the performance of the district institutions, district administrative institutions, oversee the performance of the police and the law enforcement institutions, as well as the prosecution judiciary, that how these cases needs to be addressed, and how the performance of Pakistan in terms of addressing such kind of issues can be improved. As we are linking these things with the GSP Plus as well. So GSP Plus, when we talk about GSP Plus, it's not a charity which the European Union is given to Pakistan. This is Pakistan has done a very progressive steps to address these issues, and due to that, Pakistan really qualifies to take the GSP Plus status, and to extend its status, and to get the to improve its status in the GSP Plus, and as well as to the FTA FATF and other international reports. And since in the world, the world is basically addressing these issues since a long time. But Pakistan, I think I always speak like this, that Pakistan is a baby country to address this issue, and Pakistan has still taken so many major steps to address the issues of human rights violation, to address the issues of violence against children, violence against women, and every kind of violence which is being happening in Pakistan. So there is a mindset which needs to be changed. There is because these are the issues which are directly linked with the behavior of the people. It's not just to make the make the strong legislation. So already Pakistan has a very good legislation, but that legislation needs to be implemented. First thing, there is a need to create the deterrence among the communities about the legal implementation. There is a need to change the behavior of the people towards these issues, because most of the things which are linked with the violence issues, most of the things which are linked with the human rights violation issues, it's more of a behavior kind of issue, because if somebody is like practicing this issue since a long time and they don't consider it as a crime, if now we need to educate them, we need to teach them, we need to change their mindsets, that if you are committing such kind of crime, this would be taken as a serious issue, and the state will act to do the legal action against you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kausar, for joining us tonight. We were joined by Mr. Kausar Abbas, who is a human rights activist, and he was talking about the steps taken by Pakistan to align their commitment with the international commitment regarding gender-based violence while the world observes 16 days of activism. We have seen that there are a lot of challenges faced by the world, especially when it comes to gender-based violence, and Pakistan is working on a notion that one step at a time, and we have seen remarkable improvement in our technology, in our reporting, and obviously in the awareness as well. So in tonight's news at 7, we have discussed about the DGISPR's detailed briefing about the current security landscape of Pakistan and the intelligence-based operations that were carried out since November 4, 2025. And then we have talked about a very disturbing video from occupied West Bank, where 2 men were attempting to surrender but shot dead by Israel military forces. And then we have discussed about the steps taken by Pakistan to align their commitment with international commitment about gender-based violence. We have talked about GSP plus status of Pakistan and the steps taken by Pakistan, and obviously the importance of 16 days of activism. So that's it from today's show. This is your host Mahnoor Qureshi signing off. Keep watching Pakistan TV.